Long before the history of the Hawaiian Islands was ever written down, the entirety of a civilization's knowledge lived inside human breath and human bodies. Master teachers and their students navigated across treacherous inter-island channels by canoe. They carried no texts or paper, yet they successfully transported thousands of years of genealogy, ecological observations, and complex mythology. How does a society meticulously safeguard that volume of information against the erosion of time without relying on a written alphabet? The solution was to construct highly disciplined academies of oral and physical transmission, demanding years of absolute devotion from their students. Ancient Hula operated as an elite, rigorous academic system designed to secure a culture's fragile memory. Many of those historic ocean voyages ended here, on the north shore of Kauaʻi, in the shadow of the towering cliffs of Makana. This is Hāʻena, revered in Hawaiian tradition as a supreme center of learning. It was a physical campus dedicated entirely to Laka, the patron goddess of the dance. Students entered the Hālau, a formal school governed by strict ritual, intense secrecy, and rigid restrictions known as kapu. At the head of this school was the kumu Hula. Translating to the source of Hula, this master teacher held absolute authority and served as the living repository of their ancestral lineage. To step foot in the Hālau at Hāʻena meant surrendering yourself to a complete system of knowledge, where every breath and footstep was offered to the gods. The curriculum inside the Hālau extended far beyond choreography. Students mastered epic poetry, rhythmic timing, detailed genealogy, and the precise botanical knowledge required to gather wild plants for their altars. This older style of practice is known as hula kahiko. It lacks the soft melodies and stringed instruments of modern renditions, relying entirely on a solemn, forceful, and percussive rhythm. This image displays the traditional tools of the Hālau. The rhythm is driven by the pahu, a deep-toned drum carved from breadfruit or coconut trunks, and the ipu, a hollowed gourd. These instruments communicate directly with the dancers, signaling every physical transition. The musicians pour immense physical exertion into maintaining this driving heartbeat. Striking the double gourd ipu heike requires sustained power to project sound across the gathering. In the curriculum of Kahiko, music functions as a sacred technology, grounding the performers to the earth and forging a direct link to the spiritual realm. Before a single step is taken, there is mele, the chanted poetry. The chant holds the history, and the dancer's body exists entirely to give that poetry a visible shape. Look at the lower body mechanics. Feet stamp rhythm into the earth, while bent knees engage the core. Above that base, the upper body takes over the narrative. Hands, arms, and eyes shape literal translations of the chant, forming mountain peaks or ocean swells. When a line of dancers moves in perfect synchronized rhythm, they are demonstrating intense communal discipline and a shared ancestral lineage. Through these precise mechanics, the physical body transforms into a readable text, and the dancer becomes a living library of Hawaiian civilization. Surviving this immense training process culminated in a rare and intensely demanding graduation rite known as the uniki. Reaching this milestone demanded years of focused study, absolute mastery over various percussive implements, and a deep, practiced alignment with the local ecology. Graduates became authorized vessels, tasked with carrying the exact teachings of their master back to their home districts. Graduation from Hāʻena forged a vital new link in a continuous chain of custody, turning a single student's journey into a lifeline for the entire lineage. This animated graph illustrates how Hula propagated strictly through inherited chains of custody, branching outward from the goddess Laka down to distinct Hālau. Notice how these branches remain distinct. Different families maintained unique styles and local practices while staying firmly rooted in the original tradition. This decentralized network of masters and students allowed the art form to survive aggressive historical bans and colonial suppression. The knowledge endured because it was safely hidden in muscle memory and oral tradition. The core philosophy remains intact today. To dance is to receive ancient knowledge, preserve it with absolute precision, and offer it back to the natural world. When you witness traditional hula today, you are experiencing the literal, living memory of ancient Hawaii, breathing and moving in the present.